On October 29, 2025, something in the solar system shifted, subtle at first, almost imperceptible. The sun rose as it always does, indifferent and ancient, spilling its light across the inner planets. But behind that glare, invisible to the naked eye, a traveler from another star was making history. The interstellar object known as 3E Atlas had reached perihelion, its closest approach to the Sun. Astronomers trained their instruments toward the expected spectacle: a slow brightening, a long tail, a silent ballet of vapor and dust. Instead, they witnessed something entirely unprecedented. Within hours, Atlas's luminosity didn't just increase, it erupted, doubling faster than any known cometary curve. Instrument logs overflowed with numbers that defied explanation. "It's exploding," said Dr. Kai-Chong Zhang at Lowell Observatory, his voice nearly drowned out by the static of streaming data. But explosions leave debris. This one left none. The outburst was pure light. No fragments, no plumes. Just a sudden radiant transformation that violated every model built to describe frozen objects near a star. Something billions of years old had awakened, and no one understood why. Over the following nights, torrents of data poured in. Radio telescopes recorded molecular streams flowing from Atlas, 5.7 times 10 squared to the power of 8 water molecules every second, 40 times the rate measured a month prior. Imagine the energy behind that. A mountain's worth of ice vaporizing instantly, forming a fountain wider than the moon, invisible except to instruments designed to count its atoms. Comets do this near the Sun, but never at this speed, never with this intensity. Spectrographs detected spikes of C2 and nitrogen dihydride, carbon chains and nitrogen radicals that only appear when volatile ices sublime violently. Yet the timing was wrong, the pattern was wrong. Instead of a steady rise, Atlas's brightness resembled a heartbeat, a flat line followed by a single, vertical spike. Dr. Carl Bams at the Naval Research Laboratory likened it to watching a candle suddenly erupt into a flare gun. The implied pressure and internal fractures made no geometric sense. The energy was released symmetrically, choreographed across its surface. For a moment, the idea of a natural explosion seemed insufficient. It was responding. When the first clear images from SOHO, Stereo A, and GOES 19 arrived, disbelief turned to awe. Against the Sun's blinding halo, Atlas appeared not as a graceful comet, but as a faint, stretched ember, elongated yet tailless. The dust that should have formed a luminous trail millions of kilometers long was gone. Radiation pressure, the very force that sculpts cometary tails, seemed switched off. Comparisons with Comet Lemon, photographed under identical conditions just days earlier, were almost cruel. Lemon displayed the archetypal plume of gas and dust arcing away from the Sun, while Atlas remained a single, self-contained point of light, unmoved by solar wind. Some hypothesized that the outburst vaporized only gas, leaving dust untouched, or that previous carbon dioxide loss had cooled the nucleus, triggering a synchronized flash. But deep down, researchers felt an unease no theory could erase. The outburst was too precise, too controlled, as if some invisible hand had timed it perfectly. Then the James Webb Space Telescope intervened. Using its near-infrared spectrograph, Webb peered beyond the coma and revealed a surface utterly transformed by interstellar time. For billions of years, galactic cosmic rays, supernova remnants, and black hole jets had bombarded Atlas, rearranging atoms, splitting molecules, forging new compounds. Simulations by Dr. Roma Mazzio at the Royal Belgian Institute for Space Astronomy showed that radiation had penetrated 50 to 65 feet into the nucleus, creating a crust harder than granite, chemically alien, absorbing sunlight and storing energy until the armor finally cracked at perihelion. Calling it an explosion might be misleading. This shell could have functioned as insulation, releasing energy only when a precise threshold was reached. Atlas didn't erupt spontaneously. It activated. What lies beneath that radiation-hardened surface could be a time capsule from another star, a pristine core older than our Sun, containing matter from a galaxy long before Earth existed. Or, if radiation altered it deeper than we can detect, Atlas may now be a composite unlike anything natural. Webb's instruments cannot yet reveal the full extent of the transformation. But the surface behaves like a body engineered to survive, self-reinforcing and self-protecting. Professor Avi Loeb publicly urged NASA to release every dataset, every raw frame, every spectral line collected on Atlas. This was not paranoia, but acknowledgement. Humanity may never see another visitor like this. In Germany, Dr. Suzanne Fallner proposed an even more audacious idea. Interstellar objects like Atlas might not be leftover debris, but planetary seeds, embryos ejected before birth that drift between stars until captured by young systems, seeding planet formation. In this view, Atlas could be a ghost world, carrying the chemistry of another sun. Its eruption at Perihelion might be the final breath of an embryonic planet, or a controlled release of energy we misinterpret as chaos. Age estimates place Atlas between 7.5 and 12 billion years old, predating the Solar System by at least 3 billion years. It has survived supernova blasts, gamma-ray storms, gravitational slingshots, and cosmic debris. Its radiation-hardened crust may explain its improbable survival. For engineers designing interstellar probes, these are ideal specifications: thermal stability, radiation shielding, structural endurance. The line between natural miracle and engineered design begins to blur. Some scientists now speculate the outburst could have been programmed, a response triggered by proximity to the Sun. Dormancy, sudden activation, symmetry, lack of fragmentation, all point toward a built-in reaction. The evidence is ambiguous, but Atlas behaves as if it knows how to survive a star encounter, storing and releasing energy efficiently. Miracles that repeat with precision start to resemble algorithms. Through November and December 2025, Atlas drifts outward, fading against the black. Telescopes on Earth, Mars, and in orbit capture every photon before it disappears beyond reach. Curiosity and Perseverance provide perspectives still under analysis, data that could reveal jets, cracks, or structures we've never imagined. Some scientists prepare for outcomes that defy all models. If Atlas brightens again without reason, it will no longer be an explosion. It will be a signal, a behavior, a decision made in silence after 12 billion years of wandering. For a few fleeting weeks in 2025, an object older than our Sun burned brighter than anyone expected and then quietly receded into darkness. What we witnessed at Perihelion was not just light, it was a revelation, a challenge to physics, chemistry, and imagination. 3E Atlas arrived as a mystery, and leaves as one, from a forgotten corner of the galaxy, defying all our expectations. It didn't behave like a comet. It broke every rule. It exploded without debris, glowed without dust, and sailed through the solar wind as if immune to the Sun itself. It refuses to be ordinary. Perhaps that's the point. Atlas is a mirror, a reflection of human certainty, showing how little we truly understand the cosmos. Science advances by confronting anomalies, not ignoring them. Whether Atlas is natural or designed, it survived billions of years, drifting between stars, and arrived here on a trajectory so precise it brushes past our planets, erupting as we had the instruments to observe it. That timing alone is enough to shiver at. Maybe the universe doesn't deal in accidents, it deals in moments. As Atlas fades beyond Jupiter, all that remains are data, graphs, spectra, and questions that will occupy scientists for decades. Whether it is natural debris, a fragment of a ghost planet, or a probe of unknown origin, it made us look up, question everything, and realize how fragile our understanding truly is. Billions of years from now, perhaps another civilization will encounter it and ask the same question we did. What was that? Perhaps that is how the cosmos communicates, not with words, but through visitors drifting between stars, carrying questions instead of answers. When you think of 3E Atlas, don't imagine a comet. Imagine a conversation between the known and the unknown, between curiosity and eternity. Every so often, the universe doesn't whisper, it roars. And if you're alive to witness it, you have a responsibility to listen.